Yeah,
Oh, there you go. Not too bad
it,
at all.
it's not too bad. Only 2 minutes late. Woohoo!
Buddy, welcome.
It's always something with electronics, and if you go and update things, it takes forever to update them, and then you can't
And
find
then it's
any of the
wrong.
controls, and you can't log into anything because it messed something up anyways. We're here on a Friday night? Yeah.
It is Friday. Yes. Yes, it is.
And I am your host, Cindy Harrison, host of Artfully Connected with Cindy Harrison Facebook group that you're in right now, and also Artful Webinars, which I hope that you find something over there that you like and sign up for it. And I am here with Miss Lydia Steeves,
Hi, everyone.
and she's our resident artist.
This is what we're doing tonight. Silly squirrel.
He's so cute.
He is very cute.
And although it's spring-ish, it's got the fall-ish colors.
Yeah, it is a little bit on the spring side, but oh well.
But it's okay because it's so sad because I left here, it was hot, hot, hot. And when I came back, it was cold, 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 like
Yes,
as if it was a light switch.
I
Mother Nature is just really funny like that. It's like, okay, go from, what is it, sleeveless tops and shorts to long sleeve sweaters and
Yeah,
long.
sweater. Mind you, it was very nice during the day, or it is very nice during the day. So it is like a fall, like you say, cold at night and then warm at night in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah, cool, cool. But yeah, when I was in San Diego for the convention and the nights were like 60s and the days were like 80s, I'm like that was I know why people live, move there, why there was
Yes.
such a drove of people to go there because it's like the perfect weather, you know? So what can you do?
Delightful.
Yeah, I
Delightful.
know. But I am a New Englander, you know. When it comes right down to it, that's where I am. That's where I'll
Yeah.
stay. But I love visiting the warmer weather. And you're further north than I am, so.
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm a little bit further.
But you have all the 4 seasons like I do, and
Oh
uh,
yeah, yeah, we
uh,
got all four.
yeah, which is always nice. It's
I think so. I love those shoulder seasons, actually. They're my favorite.
there you go.
Hmm.
I don't like cold, I guess.
I
And
don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I mean, it's not like I'm out doing that much anyways, just running to my car and back, but
well, and that's the other thing, the snow part. I love the snow and the wake up in the morning with the glistening and stuff, but I don't want it on the roads,
oh, okay.
So if there was a way not to, because people forget how to drive in
They
it.
do. Yeah, they do.
And so that happens. But needless to say, let's not rush things. We are here. It is September and it is getting cooler. And hopefully that helps a lot of people in the South who have been in three-digit
Mm,
temperatures.
that's too hot.
It's
That's
too hot. Yeah, it's too hot. So hopefully you're indoors and you're staying nice and cool and that you are ready to pencil. Are we penciling?
we are penciling. Yes, we are.
Tonight you're going to pencil the silly squirrel
Silly
and
squirrel, yes.
with Lydia. And if you want the pattern packet, I will put the website address in the comments so that you can go order the pattern packet from Lydia and then you can watch the replay. Again, the replay is going to be available for only 30 days per the new, rules of Facebook. And then after that, I'm going to try to put it over onto YouTube because there's more storage space over there.
Right.
So you'll get to watch it over there.
And how do we link in to get to YouTube? I think I asked you that one time
Yep,
before.
I will put the link in the
Oh,
comments
okay.
as well, so you can go over there and check it out. Um, but if you are here, thank you for being here tonight. Let us know where you're from. Let us know if you're going to be penciling along with Lydia or just watching or here for the first time and are totally don't know where you are. We will help you. We'll help you figure that out.
That's right.
Um, and if you are watching the replay, thank you for taking time out of your day to watch the replay. If you have any questions for her, but not specifically like something that you would find out in the pattern packet, I will be glad to answer those or put the question on to Lydia and she will answer them for you. Any questions that are something you would find in the pattern packet, we would really encourage you to buy the pattern packet.
There you
And
go.
that's so she doesn't have to go get a real job and that she can keep doing
Yes,
this.
exactly.
And
However, I did want to mention to
yes.
newish people that if they do go to my website and then, go to colored pencil, and I have the same sort of thing for acrylic and everything too, there are free YouTubes or free videos there on, how to put on or what pan pastels is all about, or the technique that we're using. If you want a little bit more in depth, there is a nice little video on the Gamsol slash moon scrubbers and things like that. So have a look. They're free and might help you, understand a little bit more of what we are doing.
Absolutely, absolutely, as well as all the other critter squares
Yes,
that
we have.
she has tons of PDFs on there, and you still have videos on there. Some videos on there.
There's a couple, but yeah, mostly you have the videos.
Okay, so but yeah, all the critter squares that are on there, I would say 98% of them you'll see in videos either on the website, artfulwebinars.com in the library, or you will see them on YouTube. I'm slowly getting things over to YouTube, but you'll find them there. So if you see any of those critter squares and you can't find it and you want a quick, link, just send me an email and I will
Yes.
send you the link. So that's what's really nice about that. I did save them all. I had to one by one download them from Facebook, but we did it. And like I said, I'm just missing a couple, I
Yeah, I
believe.
think there's one or two missing, but
Yeah. And so, but otherwise than that, I was pretty lucky to get most of them down. So that being said, I am going to say, hey, Lydia, thank you for sharing your talents with us. And I'm going to let you take it away. Okay.
oh, yes,
Let me,
yes.
oh, well, I see what I did. I will somehow give you the spotlight. There you go.
Okay, we're all good. All right, so yes, we're gonna do this little silly squirrel. So the pan pastel background was pretty simple, just one color, just to kind of get a little bit of an out of focus little blotchiness going there. And so we will start off with a sparkle. And so have a look at the sparkle. It's not just your dot that we have used in the past. It's actually quite an interesting shape. I guess because it's googly. It's got a googly eye. So try to get something similar. And I always like to make it just a little bit bigger than you think you want, just so that when we bring the black back, you can continue to shape it and, style it, I guess. So we'll have this little tail there. Okay, and then you just try to and you'll have another chance to adjust it maybe a bit. All right, and we're going to make the eye just a little bit bigger at the bottom here too, because we do want some space to put that little tiny membrane highlight in there. So if you don't have a big enough eye to begin with, then you'll end up trimming it even further, and we don't want that. All right, so you gotta, yeah, be careful with the eyes. Make sure that they're nicely shaped exactly the way you want it. And there is just this thin slip of an eye on this side. So just put in the black. Now this one, don't make it bigger than you think. You make it smaller than you think, I guess. All right, and there's not too much more coming for the eyes, so we can put another layer on there. All right. Back to the white though. And we are going to put in some fluff. And maybe a little bit of white here on this right-hand side, an edge. If you've got the photo one, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. So we've got an edge here, we've got ear fluff here, we've got ear fluff behind the ear. And you've got it coming down the back. And you've got some in front. On this side, I'm just going to put some at the top of this ear, and this is not going to stay white, but we'll just mark it out for now. At the tip, down the front a bit, down the back. And I think that's probably enough. It's difficult to see everything right here, but if you can just think of that extra bit of fuzz at the back and then coming down the back and then this fuzz in the front and coming down here too. You'll see there's actually two lines in here. One's the front of the cheek and this is the fluff in behind. And well, we've got to put the white above the eye. That can be fairly strong and below. Okay, there's more to come, but let's just put that aside and get the clay rose next. And we're going to color in the ear now that we've got the fluff. Just with a nice circle, even, smooth. You can go over top of this white because that's not going to stay white. And we are going to go in this mouth area here too. And there's a lip. And then sepia. So let's sharpen that up. Just so we can be precise. And while it's sharp, let's do that nostril. So there is a wide oval and then thin across the bottom and come up the side. And very gently, we will, with circles, start at the bottom of the nose and we'll just come up and fade fairly quickly. That's a little extra marking there. And we need to have this line coming down towards the mouth. And he's a little on the edge, or turned, I guess, 3/4 view. And we'll shade in this mouth part. Right over top. We've got clay rose there already, so just put another little layer on. And then we'll bring it just a little bit further past his face, or his little lip there. All right. So these are all fairly careful things, of course, because we don't want to get anything sort of misshapen, I guess. So now we're going to go with little tiny lines, ever so small, thinking furry now. And let's put it a little bit higher like that. I mean, you can see where it's going to end up being up a little ways. And we will put some dark right in here. So don't press heavy. We're just finding finding things, where are they? You know, that sort of thing. All right, now I think we've got that. We've got the nostril, the marking, the line, the open mouth. Yes. Back to white now. And we've got the eye markings done in there, and we will do the little cheek. Now you have to press a little bit harder with white, but you're still making little lines. And then when you come up these little whisker pocket lines here, again, make them with little lines that go up and down, maybe just angled towards the back. And we'll keep on going, and we'll turn our direction. Here we go. Even though I'm pressing a little bit harder, I'm still getting it done in maybe 2 layers or so. Try not to do it in one great big heavy. And make a nicely shaped nose here. And this little cheek part. So you can actually link these two together here. This line of dark should not come so far that it splits that. Make sure that this white comes around. Okay, keeping on, there's chin. Oh. So some things will turn a yellowish later on, and some things will stay white, but we're starting with white with all of this. There's another little chin part, and here's the jaw.
Here's a question for you.
Hmm.
Bonnie would like to know, what type of graphite do you use to transfer the pattern?
Well, you're supposed to get a waxless transfer paper. And mine is pretty old. There's a lot of things on there. So that's the one that I like. If you're not sure of the transfer paper, put some on a like do a little test, and then put a stripe on, and then put your OMS on top of that, and see if you can't pull it off with your kneaded eraser. It might not come off completely, but if you can pull off with your kneaded eraser, then you've got the right one. If it stays on there as clear as when you put it on, then you don't have the right transfer paper. And I have been caught. And it's not like the end of the world. I mean, you just have to make sure that you are able to cover it with all your pencil, but it's a lot easier if it comes off when you want it to come off. So the hard part here is figuring out what is leaf and what is chest. And that's all leaf. This is leaf. This is chest here. This line, I think, might be arm. All right. I don't know what brand my transfer paper is anymore. I might have just gone to an art store and asked for waxless graphite paper. Waxless is the key. All right, so we've got the obvious spots, but let's put a few lines, little short lines of white in a few other spots too. You can always make these a dark color, but it's going to be really hard because we want this salt and pepper look. We want some lights and some darks and lights and darks. So we want to put a few lights in there first, And then we can always, like I say, make a few dark if we put too many. That's going to be dark, I know that. All right, and it gets darker as it gets to the top of the head. So I'm not going to do as many up that way. A couple on the ears, just a few here. That's going to be dark there behind the eye. Change your direction. This is going to be darkish. And then we are going to have this kind of light fur. The body, we won't put too many light lines. In fact, we're not going to put any light lines on the body because it's going to be in the shadows. And let's go back to our sepia because there's still another marking that we want to get. This marking right here behind the whisker pockets. So we want to get that darkness, and then we want to just bring it in a little bit like a shadow, or is it dark fur? It can be both at the same time. And remember, it's a furry thing. So where the two meet, the sepia and the white meet, you want it to be a fuzzy edge, a little bit of a jig-jaggy edge. It's not super fuzzy, but it's not a quilt. All right, so I've got that, and then I'm going to pull it out. There we go. And I have everything right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I must have it all right. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can count. And then we will put some lines in for the body. We will still leave some space though. Don't color it all in. And again, it's just a matter of, well, where is it? Where's the end of the body? You can make this a little bit darker so we know this is edge of arm. And this is his little hip. Don't do too much. Just kind of put a few things in for placement, and you can always come back and, fill it in a little bit. All right, now, I'm thinking I missed a step. I'm having a look at my instructions. What color do we find on? I'm going to say, you see on photo 1, if you have photo 1, that I've got a brown in here. It's not the sepia, it's another brown. So you're going to have to fill that in or write it in. Maybe I've missed it just by let's see, blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking it's light umber. So you might want to write that in just so that we have, fur everywhere. It's not as dark as the sepia. So just looking at our palette, it looks to me like it is light umber. And you know how I feel about light umber. It's a great color. You really can't get into too much trouble with it. It's a great middle of the road. It's a highlight for a dark color and it's a shade for a light color. So that's why we're going to go with that, because we can recover. And let's put a little bit underneath here too. Not much. We still want to have some light. There we go. All right, so as far as the flowers are concerned, chartreuse will be the stems and leaves. And I will put those in just again for placement so we know what's going on. And then once we get one of them done, then you'll know how to do all the rest. But I am going to color them all in right now. Fairly heavily. The whole shape. You see right here too, I want to just make sure that I have just enough for a stem. And then I can bring the fur right in tight. And these ones. Okay, I think I've got all those. And canary yellow is going to be for the bottom front petal. And some of them are pretty obvious as to what is the bottom and front. Others are not quite as obvious as they're buds. This one doesn't have, these ones don't have any yellow. It's just basically these four here. And then you have two violets. You actually have violet and you have dahlia purple. And when I first started, I thought, well, you know, I'll just do the two side ones with the dahlia purple and the two back ones, violet. That was the original plan, but it got harder to figure out what was what. So after that, I just thought, well, let's just make some fun purple. Before we get too far away, you know how they have those mustaches? So those four that have the center petals, let's put some white in here just to save it. Little spiky lines. And looking at the pattern there, on photo one, I think I liked probably the violet. Seems like I have more violet than I do the dahlia, but let's put this one here. Let's try to keep with the program. So see, the two side ones I thought might be nice with the dahlia, and then the two back ones with the violet. And just color it in. Don't get all fancy and try to do some wingding things. Just get them purple. So see that on the sideways ones, it's hard to tell which is the back. And then some of them didn't have back ones. Some of them just had the two side ones.
Lydia,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know, he said, refresh my memory on the surface you're using.
Oh, I use the Stonehenge paper. And this color is fawn. Usually I use the craft color. But this one is fawn. And then I put the pastel on, and then I fixed the pastel, and then I put the line drawing. I like the Stonehenge. It's I like the smoothness of it, and it's thick enough that it takes the rubbing and the OMS. All right, I think that's it for photo 1. So that was just basically filling in things and finding out where everything actually is. So then this is the OMS. Gamsol, odorless mineral spirits. And yes, there are a few other things that apparently you can use. I put it always in a water brush. These are available everywhere, actually, it seems like now. At the very beginning, when I was using them, it seemed like they were harder to get. And any brand will do. And there's all sizes now that you can get, wide ones and all manner of things. I just get a medium round because it's not really that precise an application. You're not really painting with them. So you don't have to have a teeny weeny one or anything like that. And the only thing you have to watch is that you don't, like, say, go from the purple into the white or into the yellow for that matter, because yellow is fairly delicate color. Okay. I this system I read in one book, and I thought it sounds like an interesting idea. And since I've tried it, I quite enjoy it. So at the very beginning here, depending on how much you have, how much pencil you have, you may not see much of the rubbing action, but do it anyways. So I'm just rubbing all the 3 parts for now because I want to just make sure that I've got 3 colors. And you don't have to keep your whites clean or anything like that, because in fact, we want them to be a little bit dull. Every once in a while, you might need to wipe because you are picking up. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, we want the whites to be dulled a little bit so that we have room to put more white on and, get brighter. And then these are a little bit on the shady side. So just kind of rub that. And even if you get a little bit of green into the white, that's okay too, because if you look at some of the photos that are around of different things, of little animals and white things in greenery, you'll see that there's a tint, a green tint. And that's actually more realistic than having it pure snow white. Well, I shouldn't even say snow white, because sometimes when you look carefully at the snow, it's actually blue. So don't try to keep things too pure. And I'm being a little bit careful with the violet. Wipe your little brush, then go into the yellow, wipe that. And I don't think I'd bother with the green. It's very thin and, it's just a little tiny piece. So I rubbed pretty much everything. I didn't rub the eye yet, so I'm going to go to a smaller moon scrubber. And again, same sort of thing. You actually want to bump into your white because you can actually move things around a little bit. You can always add more white, like the last final sparkle, but this could be a secondary. That's a secondary highlight, and it's showing the form as it's turning around, because remember we said googly eyes. So let's see what we can do here now. Now we've got everything fairly okay. So if you've got some serious issues with your transfer lines, I'm trying to find out there it is. You might need to take care of them fairly soon. So if you've got the OMS over top of your transfer lines, and I don't really think I have any issues. Last time we did some of these, I thought I had a couple issues. But you can just tap off and get rid of some of your transfer. Remember when you're tapping off, though, that you're picking up. So don't keep going and doing the same thing with the same side of the kneaded eraser. You have to fold it and then go again. So a couple of taps. Okay, you can get rid of it and then fold it. And you can continue on like that. Don't stress it too much. One hopes that you didn't put it on too dark in the first place. If there's something that in the middle here that you really think, oh no, what's going on there? There are these Faber-Castell Perfection erasers in pencil form, and you can take off some of these lines. Like you can target them a little bit better. So I don't know. I don't really, again, I did a pretty good job this time. So thank goodness for that. But those are the two things. And that's where you can, if you've got the right transfer paper, that will be easy for you to do. Okay, so back to the white, and let's just see. We want some fluff. Do we have it coming down? Just make sure that you have what you want. And you can either go right on top of that transfer line, or maybe just go to the right, just to the right there. And then you don't have to worry about that because that will be dark. That's okay. I think we did a pretty good job here. So I don't know if we need to do too much adjustment. You see, there's a few transfer lines in here that hopefully when I get my darks going, that'll take care of itself. All right. Sepia. Oh, no, chestnut. All right. Chestnut. And let's do some little shadows. Very softly, super softly, right up here at the top. And circles, and you'll fade. You just want a little bit. Right in here, we'll do another little bit. And down here is going to be quite dark, but we'll start first with the chestnut. Just to give it a bit of a pinkish. All right, let's do some in the mouth and at the sides of the lips. One lip, I guess, not two. And we'll just shadow. I'm hardly touching. I'm just kind of stroking my pencil. Kind of curved around, curved up here. Let's just take our teeny little guy here and make sure it's clean, because if you were in the black last and you didn't clean it, it could be bad. And we'll just rub it again, just gently. Just get in the habit of wiping your brush. And now let's do a little bit of sepia. So basically the same areas, just don't bring it out as far. So a little bit up top. little bit here. All right, now in here, it depends on how fancy you want to get it. There is another little swoop of something here. Could be fluff. You could put a few extra in. Okay, and then you can pull your sepia down in like negative paint. And you can kind of pull that in there. So you want the white up and then you want the dark that one. And let's go in here too. So now we have a fuzzy white edge that you have to keep. And we are going to shade inside the mouth, not a solid brown shape, but just ease into it. And I don't think we want to put anything there. Just have a little tiny bit there. And you can rub again if you like. Maybe just tap. You can put more OMS onto if you think you would like to do that. That's okay too. All right. Let's have a look at that eye. I like everything. I'm just going to brighten up right here, not the whole length, just that part right there.
Here's another one for you.
Okay.
So Margot was asking where to find the small moon scrubbers. So I sent them to your site and you say they are currently unavailable?
Well, we're supposed to get a postal strike, but I haven't heard anything, so I can get that. I can make it active again and try to get it in the mail. I haven't heard anything lately about our postal strike, so I can send them, or you can go straight to Sharf.
She said she couldn't find them on the Sharf site. So is there,
Oh,
what is the series is
it's 285.
285? Okay, I'll type that in there.
It is there. I have gone there myself. Yep, 285 Moon Scrubber.
Yeah, I'll go find it and post the link.
Okay. All right, so we're just going to highlight this lip. Again, see, I'm just kind of stroking it back and forth, easing into it. And we're going to highlight, we just want this ear to be rolling or, fluid here. So I'm going to put a little bit of white there. Okay. And I like things, especially lips and ears, I like them fairly smooth. Do you have a sharp pencil? If you do, you could put in that little highlight. Don't make it glaring white. You just want to grab and make it slightly gray. And if it gets too big, then you just take your black and come back. And you might need to put a little something right in front of the eye too, because we are going to do a dark little edge here or marking. And so we want a little tiny bit of definition. Again, you don't want it to be pure white. You just want it to be kind of gray. So if it gets to be pure white, go in and dirty it up a bit. Put a little something in the front, a little something at the back. We've already done the lips, so that's fine. I like jade green as a shade color for whites, especially for little animals in the flower patch. So just shade it. Not too dark. Again, you want it to be subtle. So that might be an area, if you put it on too dark, that you might need to spend a little time getting rid of. All right, and we're going to bring this down. This is the little arm as well, so shade on the belly. Leave the arm. And just put a few here and there. And we'll shade back here. Because remember we said there's 2 lines. And I think that's probably it. Yeah, that's probably it. And then we're going to put a little bit of yellow ochre. Again, just like that light umber, it's just a matter of giving some color because it's not white. Even though this is a gray squirrel, he is brownish. Okay. So we got lots of colors there now, and now we're going to get a little bit more serious about getting some hair done. And we're going to take our Cool 90 and we are going to start putting in some of our darker colors. Now, not everything, just do it. You're adding to the sepia parts, so not covering the sepia, just adding to the sepia. And we are bringing lines upwards. There's this darker marking. And what I'm going to try to do is bring a few lines back into this white and shape the white the way I need it. All right, and I could have put some sepia in there too, but this will work. Okay, so I'm shading the ears behind the head, and I'm not touching it it's not a heavy application. Just trying to get some of these lines. Be very careful at this top edge. I want to kind of keep this area here lighter because it's coming forward, it's his brow bone. And then behind here, underneath, we'll put a few lines. Let's switch to sepia down here actually. Because we've got a few areas that need to have a dark, but not as dark as the cool. Yeah, I think you need both colors. Then you can go a little bit further with the darks if you use sepia and cool. Ooh. And then we'll change back to cool 90 and we will get a few darks down here. There's the shoulder. There's the little arm. Okay, just kind of tuck them in. So we can do a little bit on the flowers also. We're going to take mulberry and with a very, very light touch, I'm just going to do one just to show you. And you're going to shade at the bottom of the center flower petal. And there are lines that are coming up to the center. I love mulberry, Johnny Jump Ups, actually. So I hope you do too. So don't make them, don't ham fist them in there. Just kind of a gentle little undulating line. Because when you add OMS and start to rub things, it'll intensify a fair bit. So you just at the softly color the bottom, put the lines and they go towards the center. And then you're going to take your ultramarine blue and you're going to shade behind the mustache. And so this is where you can shape that little mustache. Super light touch because blue goes absolutely crazy when you start putting on the OMS. And you can put some shadow on any of the purple. There we go. Any of these purple ones to sort of put this guy behind that one, to put this guy behind that one, and so on. And try to get, little differences. Don't try to make them all exactly the same. All right, so let's see. Do I like the shape of that mustache? I think so. And then you're just going to take your Prussian green, and you can shade your stems and leaves with a little bit of Prussian green. I think I even put a little something in that center. All right. Let's just do a little bit more on this guy. Just again, like I say, just to show you. You see how it intensifies that blue. Wipe that, and then you can also just smooth it out. And then you're going to have more fun with purple. You're going to add that mulberry because it's going to be a highlight on most of the other purples. So I'd say I'm pressing a little bit harder on this one, actually, right up here. Super soft on the yellow, but you can do a little bit more on those purple ones. And so then to shade them, so if you really want to make sure that you can see one in front of the other. You could go back with your violet and just do a little bit. You could do your blue too, but they are supposed to be violet. And you also have lilac in there. And that could be just to maybe go one more time to put a little bit of light. Let's see. We do need to get a little bit more yellow in there too, don't you think? Make sure that your yellow is clean, and we can put a bit of yellow in here. Now make sure you go between your lines. And we can add some dahlia purple, or just to have a second purple here. Maybe don't bring it quite as far. And if you think that the yellow isn't quite bright enough, you could just take a bit of white and put that on, and then put the yellow back over top. Okay. Well, the only thing I would say, well, my little guy there, is I don't quite love the mustache. So I'm going to give it a little bit of trim. And there you go. And then one other notice, I spray this and then I do put on a brush on varnish. Your colors will change. These ones especially will change. This got a little bit pinkier. So you could just spray on a varnish if you really don't like that, or it doesn't bother me. But I've had that happen a couple of times now. I think it's just the mulberry that does it mostly. Okay, so those are them as far as the petals. And so your anything green, I did first with white, and then I came back and put a little bit more chartreuse on top. I didn't do very much work at all on anything green. I just did the flowers and of course him. So let's get back to him. And I'm going to have a little guest soon. So he's watching and he's thinking. So I'm just going to erase this part because I know that I don't want that very predominant. And I'm going to get in here and get the white back. And here comes the little guest. This is little Jackson. Turn upside down. Not very cooperative. There he is. He's growing into his eyes. He is growing into his eyes. Yes, you are.
So how many cats do you have now?
Well, I just have him. My crew went back, of course, as I predicted, and they were all adopted. I had to give the mom and her 5 babies back too. She had just diarrhea like you would not believe, and I couldn't give her fluids. So that's one of the things that you have to be able to do. She just didn't allow me to give her fluids. So I gave her back, and they said that she was done fluids, but I thought I couldn't deal with the diarrhea anymore. Like I just had it with diarrhea. So instead of her, I picked up Maxine. And Maxine is a lynx point. She's adorable. And my hope is that she and Jackson will play together for a little bit. I'll just probably each have them a couple of weeks more. And isn't she pretty? There's a squinty left eye, but I think it'll be okay. And she just
Only you noticed that. Didn't look squinty to me.
okay, good. And yeah, she just needs to fatten up. She's my husband is in there hugging her. She needs some love and some attention, and you need to, watch TV and hug her and that sort of stuff. So that's good, right? That's the best part of, and the knock on wood, she doesn't have diarrhea. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, it can be bad. All right, so all I'm doing here is putting on more white just to fill things up and keep an eye on your edge here. Okay, I think that's probably pretty good. I'm not going to put too much white on here because that's not going to end up to be white. I'm just trying to concentrate on these white parts. Uh-oh, he's coming again. He's only 6 weeks old, so I've had him since he's been 4 weeks. Poor little guy. It is sad when they don't have their moms and their siblings. Now let's sharpen our pencil again, our white. And do we need to put any more white lines in this area, in the brownish gray area? Maybe a few. Remember we talked about having this as the part that's coming forward, and so we need to have it a little bit lighter. But I think that's probably okay. I'm going to put more OMS on too. And that's probably enough OMS. We've done it twice. And now the paper is pretty much saturated, so you should be able to rub without adding it on a third time. Just gonna get in here. Let's get the light umber out again. And the jade green by itself, not quite doing the job that we wanted it to. So let's put a little layer of light umber over top. Well, the two colors together work quite nicely. So don't want to turn it brown necessarily. We're just trying to deepen that jade green. There we go. And you can make it as white as you want, of course. Some people like it a little whiter than others, but try not to do the snowman white. Try to get it to be, subtle. He's behind the grasses and leaves, etc. So it's not going to be pure white. But there we go. Right. If you need to put the green, you can do the green again, go back and forth a few different times and make it as you like, of course. And we talked about this part here being more of a tan color. So we've got the white, and now let's put a little bit of yellow ochre on the nose, over the whisker pocket area. Just kind of bring it down. This should probably stay whitish or not too tannish. And you can shade a little bit with the light umber. So for instance, right in here, you want this to look like it's going in. So put, it's too small to jump off the table. And anything you want, maybe you want to come a little bit further with your whisker pockets, you can come do that with light umber. You can use the jade green too, like maybe here or even here, just because we've used it elsewhere. You can use that. Maybe a little bit more yellow. Have a look at your nose. Do you like the shape? Yeah. So just making it slightly creamy. And let's see, do we want this to be a bit darker down here, way, way at the bottom? Don't bring it up too high. Yes, we do want a little bit. That looks good. I think so. And we've already deepened the marking behind here. We've kind of already done this up here. So that's all good. And now, instead of white, we will add eggshell. And just look at your hair. You probably need another layer, I would think. I'm going to make this a bit lighter because that could be like this. Marking. We don't want it to be too bright, not as white, but we do want it to be kind of there. Okay, so I'm just kind of smoothing things out, getting the direction. see, this comes down here. You can put some in here too on the shoulder, but less and less and less as you get down. And now it's just a matter of making it the right color, I guess. And that's going to be a combination of your light umber. You could put more of your yellow ochre on. You can use sepia. You can use all of them. I don't know if you're going to rub again. We've got a lot of colors on here, and usually people get into trouble with blending with oil paints and anything really, is if you've got the light, which is your eggshell and white, and you've got your darks, which is your cool gray 90, and then we rub them with a great vigor. And we don't really want that because then you just mix things in, and then you've heard that expression, then I've got mud. If you do rub, pay really close attention to what it is that you're actually rubbing. And use very, very short strokes. Use your smallest brush. Because sometimes there's just something you think, oh my gosh, I just want to rub that. And if you do, just, like back and forth, lift it up, back and forth, lift it up. And try and wipe your brush. Because you can really get into trouble at this particular stage. The other thing you could do, if you felt like it, if you want to rub something, but you're not quite sure, or you don't want to get into trouble, use that colorless blender, because that will do it without making a great big swath of mixy. So keep that in mind. I think sometimes we forget that we have that. I like a little bit of a yellowish look to it. So I'm going to go with the yellow ochre. And if you think that you got maybe, I don't know, carried away with the dark or something, you can remove that. Well, like if you decide you don't want it to be that dark, you can just press that off. Okay. And then you could go back and put it on with sepia instead of the cool 90. It is supposed to be a gray squirrel though. Oh. I think I want to bring this down here a bit. I'm just fussing. So it's easy enough to do something that's a solid color like this, but when you get into this brindley look where you got the lights and the darks and the lights and the darks, it gets to be a little bit, a little bit more challenging, I suppose. But I think we did it. Okay. Whiskers, probably the 90%. Yeah, cool gray 90.
What's the number on the gray 90?
1067.
Thank you.
Make sure you've got some little fuzzies coming down here. I could do a little bit more work on his actual body. And I would do that with maybe the light umber. And obviously I have to finish off the little flowers. The Cool 90 can get you can get a little bit too much with Cool 90. So that's where you want to just maybe pull off some and change it over to sepia. There. That's it. I think that's it. Don't have any more to say.
No more to say. Hmm. 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 Hmm.
I can't move my chair until I
Watch where the kitten is. Yeah.
watch where the kitten is. There we go. I think we're okay.
Yeah. Billy was asking why doesn't have his mom and siblings? Why don't you have the kitten?
Oh, they were strays. Somebody just found him, 4 weeks old. It's that stage, it's that time of the year, if the kitten season, where, the not so nice people of this world just kind of chuck them off to the side. And some of them,
Oh.
well, he had puncture marks in his neck as well. So something happened to him. And Maxine, it says in her little history that there was a sibling too, but the sibling stayed at the specialty hospital. So I don't know if they got maybe run over by a car or something like that. I don't ever get the full story, but
Yeah.
pretty much what it is that a lot of people, unwanted kittens. And
It's
so some of them are lucky. He's lucky. I did lose another one. I lost little Taz. He didn't make it. He was way too young to be without his mom. So he didn't make it. But Jackson did, and so did Maxine. So,
so sad.
well, and that, you know what? And that's why sometimes when people say to me, how can you give them back? It is good because it's a success. It's a success story, right? I didn't lose them.
And
We
then they
all
and then they
worked.
tell you that they were adopted, so then yay, you know.
Yes, yes. So I look towards that. I had way back when I first started doing it, and I lost one and I cried. And
Mm,
one of the veterans just said, you go home, you cry, and then you come back the next day and you save another one. And that's what you do.
there
So
you go.
yeah. So I had a little heartache last week and the week before, but I'm back.
There you go. Well, I'm glad because they need you.
I
You
don't know.
know,
Yeah.
so they're lucky to have you as their foster mom.
Yeah, I'm all fuzzy. I don't lick them. I just brush them.
Like them, yeah. So, anyways, thank you for sharing that with us. Everyone, Lydia will go back and check everything that you wrote and that I wrote so that we get all the information correct for you. I did put the link in there to her website where you can find the pattern, and I put a link in there to the YouTube channel where you can find her videos. And again, like I said, there'll be more coming. There might not be a lot there right now, but there will be more coming. Uh, so just, sign up for the notifications. So when I do post the new ones, you'll be
Oh, good.
notified.
Yeah, good plan. Good plan.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
they're there. And if there is something that you're looking for specifically because you saw it on her website and you bought it and it's not there, just send me an email and I will go hunt it down for you.
Yes. Don't send it to me because I will not be able to hunt it down for you.
Yep. She takes care of the written pattern packets and I take care of the videos. So there you have it in a nutshell. Well, thank you so much. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend. And I would look forward to seeing you next week. I know that I had something planned, but I am going to have to change it. So the next show and tell is tentative. The one after that will be the 17th. So I will, hopefully you'll come and join us and see what all the artists will be teaching in the near future and where and how to get a hold of the people that you need to contact to sign up for those classes. Just a reminder for those who are new to a show and tell, it's not all about me or Artful Webinars. It's about the artist. It's what they're going to be teaching, where they're going to be teaching it, who they're teaching it for. It's not all about Artful Webinars. They teach for a lot of different people. They teach for what used to be chapters, they teach at conventions, and they get to show all of that. So hopefully you'll check it out. Anyways, I just posted or will be posting 2 new show and Watch, Learn, and Creates for Liz Miller. She gave me some today
Good.
afternoon, so I'll be posting 2 of those, and you can go check those out as well. Anyways, have a great weekend, and
All
I'll
right.
talk to you
Yeah.
again.
Thank you for
So,
coming, and thank you, Cindy, for doing this.
thank you for doing this, Lydia. I wouldn't be doing it if you weren't doing it. So
Oh, but it's good.
it's
Very
all about
nice.
you today.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Thank you. Thank
Take care and good night.
you.
Okay.